What kink did you think you had? Until you tried it. NSFW. F here. Riding my partner like a real champ. Felt amazing. I was feeling a little extra hot and I told him to slap me across the face. He did. And I instantly burst into tears. Haha, this made me think of that one post about some dude paying a hooker to cheat on him because he thought he was into that. Edit. Thanks for the gold, stranger. Hell, I'm in here looking for new ideas. Having a willing, of course, sex slave. I thought it would be hot as hell to have a naked girl in the apartment following my every command. In the end though, it just felt awful. Instead of suck my fucking dick, bitch, it was suck my dick now. If you want to, please. Not sure if this qualifies as a kink, but, like many people, I once thought that bigger was better in the penis department. And then I slept with a few people who had big dicks. 1. Oh. 2. Freaking oh. No thanks. Not into it. Now I'm with a guy who fits me perfectly, in a physical sense, although we're compatible in other ways too, and it's the best sex I've ever had. Not too big, not too small, just right. Thought I had a foot fetish until I actually tried playing with my girlfriend's feet. Turns out I just like how pretty feet look minus from a distance. Piss. Even if you're cool with it during the act, the second you get off you realize you're just covered in piss. And if you like me you try it again just to be sure and want to bang your head into a wall because you can never be unpissed on. Burning. I had an ex who was really into burning with candle wax. Not the massage candles. Legit candle wax. Made a huge mess and burned a lot. I was fine with this, and even had a lot of fun. The problem is, she was a sadomasochist who loved causing pain. I am okay with this, but it led to one time where she poured candle wax over me while I was tied up. I have chest hair. This was all well and good at the time, and I didn't even mind that my hair would have to be ripped out later. In her excitement, she also decided it would be appropriate to put a freshly snuffed match against my frenulum. I would avoid this, and I do not recommend it. Since then I am not enticed or aroused by candle wax anymore. Being tied up. I like it when my partner is tied, but I can't be. Just not as much as a turn on as I thought it would be. Outdoor sex. Got a 2-inch splinter of wood shoved right up my ass cheek. That is. I don't know if it's a kink, per Southeast, because it's kind of mainstream, but threesomes just aren't as fun as I thought. The pressure to make sure everybody was having a blast kind of ruined it for me. Don't want anybody to feel left out, you know. Gangbang. Definitely not working out in my favor. For some reason a foot job always seemed hot, but in all my experiences none of them were good, and the risk of being accidentally kicked in the balls stressed me out. I thought I was into being choked until I actually passed out from it and had a seizure. Apparently you're not supposed to have seizures when you lose consciousness like that, so I try to avoid it. Standing carry type sex. I could do it and am in pretty good shape, but I wouldn't exactly say it was enjoyable for either of us. I still want to try Amazon, but I think I'd rather just have cowgirl. BDSM type play. I liked the idea of being called names like slut or bitch until my husband called me that, consensually, and I cried. Being called daddy. First time banging this girl I met at a bar, she goes right into fuck me daddy. I always thought it would be hot to hear, but nope. Instant boner kill. My mind immediately went to oh shit, she might have some serious issues. Turns out I was right too. Seems like a lot of people didn't prep for anal lol. Edit. Thanks guys --. My most upvoted comment is now about anal sex preparation. Pegging. Men's buttholes are just so weird looking, and because it wasn't my penis so I didn't feel anything. Wasn't what I thought it would be. He ended up shitting on my bed. / wouldn't do again. I thought I was into girls that scratched you and bit you. I mean, I'm still into girls that bite, but I was dating a girl in high school and she was big into scratching. I really should have seen the signs that she wasn't going to be gentle. She was just this cute, tiny girl. I was half a foot taller, bigger and tough. No way she could hurt me, right? Nope. Dead wrong. I like to think I have a pretty high pain threshold, but she enjoyed hurting me. She scratched me up hard when we were making out. She get carried away and I didn't want to seem like a wuss, so I didn't say anything about. My back looked like it'd been attacked by a raccoon. I thought I was bi until I sucked dick and now I'm gay. Fucking someone who was cheating on her boyfriend. We were FWB before, but then she got a boyfriend. A few weeks later, she still contacted me. Going at her place, I thought it was hot. But then all I kept thinking about was him and how he was probably in love with her, and how crushed his heart would be if he knew. There's nothing sexy or phantasmagorical about that, I thought. I had a panic attack, left, cut contact with her, and now I just feel dirty. Every bit deserved though. Edit. I realized it after the deed. I'm not good, but I learned from my mistakes. Pro tip. The porn you like may not necessarily translate to something you'd like in real life. Edit. Awesome, my top comment ever is about porn lol. 2 chicks at the same time. It was just fucking awkward. Pun very intended. Shower sex. I slipped and made us both fall. The water washes out the lubricant fluids too. Isn't that nice? Having someone grind me. My dick doesn't bend that many angles comfortably. Gonna be a lot of poop in this thread if this post takes off. Ice cream. She got me nice and hard and then laid out scoops of ice cream around my tower of power. But that frozen dessert shrunk my balls, froze my cock and then started melting down my ass crack, and pretty soon my ass was sticky. She tried her best to lick everything up, but that didn't make things any better. Worse was that it went on the bed sheets and we had to clean everything up, which took up all our day. No one got to come that day. Pegging and milking was king exhausting. I felt like, why haven't you come already? I'm bored. After an hour of licking, positions, thrusting, titillizing the taint, spanking, fingering, Crisco, blah, blah, blah. I felt blessed as a woman and had a new respect for the endurance people had to get me off. Facials. I had a facial fetish for a long time. Thought I would like spraying my jisms on a partner's face. In reality, it seemed degrading and a bit sad. Cream peas. Now I may have an unwanted child on the way. I thought I would be into choking. I already like to be lightly spanked and act like bratty sub. I thinks it's funny to be annoying lol, so I just thought it would have been unnatural. Step in my kinks. Didn't like it one bit. Nothing bad really happened. No freak accident. Just got turned off real quick. Fucking a girl in her ass. And #XB. When I pulled out, she let loose a wave of shit all over her parents' couch. I pooped on her. She pooped on the couch. It was like we were doing a 2-person performance of the Aristocrats. And #XB. The smell. God, the smell could have choked a donkey. Ill bite and comment. Outdoor sex. I absolutely loved outdoor sex in fantasy. In reality, the beach is super cold and windy. Blankets are hard to keep on. Bums walk up to you randomly even though you swear no one was around. Sand. Sand everywhere. Non-erotic walk back to car. Disgruntled going home. Hopefully not a night killer. In the woods is pleasant at first, but then the bug bites start. The cold knits your skin. Bark is rather rough and has ants. Feeling secluded yet not isolated, always wondering if someone will walk by. Splinters. Rocks that are pointy, jabbing into random parts of your body trying to do positions. Wild animals around. Other than that, the kink I'd say is nipple clamps. Thought they were more erotic than the painful they turned out to be. Removed. P. Found a dude who was into it, and I spent years fantasizing about it. Spent about a month fucking around with him and involving P in various ways. Turns out it's just messy. I didn't dislike it, but I have no interest in doing it again. Still watch it in porn though. Anime body pillow. Doesn't feel real enough. Swinging forward / cucking. Trying to give some guy's wife the dipstick while he watches in the corner, feeding the geese, is a lot more stress-inducing than pleasurable. I had a massive public but discreet sex kink as a teenager. My first real GF, and I couldn't really get alone time to fuck because her mom was homophobic and hated that I was making her daughter gay or whatever, so it kind of worked out that we tried to fuck in public places. We went on a date to the mall together and she tried to get me to eat her out in the family bathroom. I was too anxious and people kept knocking really hard on the door. When we came out there was a line of people going around the corner. Didn't realize it was fucking Black Friday. We pretended like I was sick and had been throwing up in there. I was 16 and my anxiety disorder was much more intense, so it wasn't far off from the truth. But damn, never again. An entire crowd of judgmental, pissed off people staring at you will kill a kink for good. Easy. Milk / BDSM. And #XB. Went through a bad breakup. Went to pick myself up via sleeping around. Slept with an recently ex-pregnant girl who was into BDSM. She hurt and I was uncomfortable. And don't get me started on the milk. Disgusting. And it got all over. Had a long cry after that one. I still gag when I think about it. Some water sports stuff is cool, but more often just awkward in practice. Attempting to drink urine was a big regret. For me it was femdom. The idea of a sexually dominant and aggressive woman is a pretty big turn on. I think that a woman who is so openly sexually attracted to you specifically is also a confidence boost. This is not the same as femdom, or is only an aspect or subsection of the kink. Femdom is pretty broad fetish that you can't really say, this is true femdom. But when I went exploring, and boy did I explore, there are a lot of things in the subculture that I did not expect. First, you have the BDSM aspect that is often hand in hand with femdom. The bondage part of BDSM I like, the S&M not so much. Plus I found out the hard way that I wasn't into all the abuse play, name calling, dehumanization, act, like femdom. BDSM has a lot of wiggle room that can accommodate most people, I think. But there is more to femdom than riding crops and gimp masks. There is also a lot of out of bed obligations and kinks that involve a lot of time not doing anything conventionally sexual. Buying anything your dom wants, cleaning the house, painting nail, grooming, licking her boot heels act. You're her butler, but she will occasionally touch your winky and call you her star pig. Femdom, in its most extreme, is a lifestyle, not just a kink. It's not just getting spanked or getting your face sat on. It's living a dominated and domesticated life that revolves around every whim of your dom. Findom, financial domination, is a very clear and ethically dubious example of this. For some people, this is a fantasy come true. Not for me. The whole sexual slave isn't as exciting when you're literally just her slave. I later learned I am more in line with something called gentle femdom. All sexy dominant female stuff, but more cuddling and loving instead of abuse and being a rubber chair for 6 hours. Still a lifestyle aspect to it, but it's more about unconventional gender role dynamics rather than gender power dynamics. TL, Doctor, I just like strong females that I can have healthy emotional connections with. Who is also not afraid of pinning me down to have her way with me. Edit. Fixed a couple of grammar errors. Probably a lot more. Edit 2. Thanks Bill for pointing out another misspelling. Subscribe, like and comment if you hate outros, begging you to subscribe, like and comment.